How many times has he been out of the first round?
Couple.
That's hard.
Not been to a conference final yet. That's certainly where he thinks is another. And Chris Paul now 10 of 15 from the field, 21 points, 8 assists.
Fans making some noise. Paul skids to a stop. And there's the push up court. That's the pace at which
the starting backcourt and only 14 by the Thunder. They got to find scoring. Well, Chris Paul put the brakes on and didn't leave any change for Ibaka. Wow, he was out.
Somebody got a piece of it. He looked like he may have gotten hit. Paul fakes, fires, 19 for Paul.
Putting the ball on the floor with rhythm on a string, keeping the defense at bay. And
Chris Paul, 24 points, 10 assists. And
commercial that we saw nationwide for the Clippers that played the other day, and that his footprints are just all over this team and this franchise, and it's something that they desperately needed after the last few months, Kevin.
Play out of the timeout. It's a little bit of misdirection. They think they're going on the strong side to Griffin, but
off play and a little dance afterward. Paul. Here comes the screen from Jordan. Paul.
Higher from the field, 40 from 3 and over 90 from the free throw line. Chris Paul.
back tap by Jordan. Very nice to Paul.
Showing it again in-house. Here comes Paul.
Paul posting up on Cole. Shot clock is down to 6. The jump shot.
Parker on Paul. Paul pull-up jumpers.
In the battle of Duke stars. Wanted to beat the Clippers here last year by
big low for the Lakers.
That's right. The deal was rescinded by the league office. Paul puts.
So athletic, probably the most athletic big man we've seen in this game for a long time.
Paul with a good fake.
look at him now. I mean, that's just a great move. It's like
Harden now 5 of 18 in the game. Was battling the flu a couple of days ago. Paul.
Oh, sorry. Well, your all-stars are diving on the floor. You got something good going. Paul. Chris Paul. We got the worst of that exchange.
wide open.
They lost everybody in the area, didn't
wow. And leading 76-66.
Yeah, this little screen.
Here's Chris Paul.
But the numbers wouldn't really reveal it, but everything else said yes. It's Paul.
Attempt. He should have kicked that one back out.
Yep. Chris Paul.
I don't think I ever see a guy make his first shot.
Incredible pace right now.
We think of as a great clutch player, shooting 37%, and that's one of the.
Davis takes the blow, and Chris Paul crosses up on Blake.
17 from the field. He's got 23. Paul puts it up. Puts it in. Chris Paul with 27. And a 10-point lead for the Clippers with 1:50 remaining.
As we get started, pulls up for the jumper.
He'll be guarded now by Morris.
Wow.
Frees himself for the shot.
Clippers 7 of 17 from beyond the circle, and now they got to stop Chris.
Could do.
Under 4 to go. Chris Paul.
Do a masterful job of mixing and matching his starting guys with bench guys because he can't go that deep with his talent. Offensively, giving up open shots, passing the basketball around. This is where your best bet.
It happens usually.
Paul uses the screen to freedom.
And here's the problem. Howard is coming from the baseline weak side. It's Paul and Priest will defend.
Aggressive.
Paul around the screen
Like that.
from his spot.
Like that.
Paul will fire.
And Paul the other way. Paul on the pull-up.
As far as outside shooting, 38% career shooter from out there.
Paul does his dance. The elbow, the jump.
Paul's jump shot is. He was very emotional after the loss. Hard screen set by Jordan. Paul's jump shot.
Chris took his time.
Steps back, fires. Paul around the screen.
Got him.
Finally open.
Pick in. But pick and roll on the fly would be a great idea. Let Chris get in there and operate.
Keeps control of that dribble like no other point guard in basketball.
He might back up and shoot this right there.
Play 2 games against the Charlotte Hornets next October.
One of those options just coughed it up. Green turns it over. Paul the other way. Paul.
I mean, his defense right now on Pau Gasol is textbook.
Contest.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh, my fault. I was daydreaming there.
He was eliminated.
Ball comes back. Nice screen by Jordan. Paul
Percent on threes this season. Villanueva went in for Georgia the timeout. Charlie B.
Like John Stockton, able to get by with a lot of things.
Yes.
You know, I mean, he's so crafty and smart.
Now we're moving the ball. Celebrating Paul Stockton on a dime. How about using that left arm as that chicken wing to clear space against the...
Growing with this basketball team.
Here's Paul. Quick crossover, the jumper.
Opportunity to do something special.
That just shows his belief with the abilities that West.
He was 4 of 11 with 10, but scoring tonight very well. Mills defending CP3.
Fucking foul on Blake Griffin. Chris Paul open for the mid-range.
Blake Griffin called that play out, and then he sends Glenn Davis to rub the other defender. They help off of Chris Paul. That's
15 down to pull within 3. Paul hesitated.
On the way up, Josh Smith trying to be strong there, but hit Griffin on the arm. Paul on the move over Terry. Got right around Josh for that easily entry pass.
And that's a shot you have to get away from.
Paul.
He's got 21, yeah. He's got 21. Paul.
8 points. Here's Paul. Oh boy, what a move that was. Wow.
Well, it's much bigger than Randolph. Jump shot.
Playing better, getting more minutes. That's the way it works.
Here's Chris Paul.
Paul drives to...
They just envelop Donald Sloan.
Follow a guy that can come on. Averaging over 19 rebounds a game since Blake Griffin went down 10 games.
Do as a player. You're talking about one of the greats to play the game. The best power forward.
Screen and roll now. Either they're going to switch it or rotate to Blake Griffin.
Paul gets inside.
Going right, finishing over a great defensive player, DeAndre Jordan.
It's like the front left tooth is gone. Paul.
Chris Paul with the pull-up.
Has now put in 16. He is tied for Reddick's 16 for the Clippers.
The Clipper, timeout.
Well, I would love to see how Doc is going to push the pace when they intentionally foul.
And one. Felt like there was a lot of contact. I tell you, Chris Paul is outstanding.
Already 4 assists for Chris Paul.
Paul.
They've had some good shots at that arc.
Clippers trying for their 8th straight win.
Yeah, straight up.
Griffin drives into the lane. Lob City for DeAndre, but it's off.
Separation.
9-point Clipper lead as we get to 4 minutes remaining. What a critical game 4 for LA. Chris Paul again. 30 points for Chris Paul.
Just not fair. Handling the basketball on a string.
Paul on a fadeaway. Oh,
The spare. Paul through the paint. Rises.
Chris Paul has made 2 of 3 on those last plays. Paul picked up by the taller splitter. This to break the tie.
got 24. Paul, the crossover, pulls up. Chris Paul gives the Clippers an 11-point lead.
And great shot by Paul, but an excellent screen by Glenn Davis.
By Jordan. Picked up by...
This is right in his wheelhouse.
Hello. Beautiful. Step back. And Paul was 6th in the shot clock. Down with 2.
For the game. 5 shots, excuse me, by Mills. He's 4 of 5. Paul maneuvering over Bellinelli.
What a break for the Clippers. Loose with the ball, and will they get a deuce?
Fade away, Paul, with the defensive player of the year right there.
Chris Paul from the elbow.
And trains one. Chris Paul. Screen by Jordan. Here comes Paul.
Making big shots.
Paul.
Shot clock, you can see Paul is measuring just that as he's watched by Ginobili. Shot clock to 5.